It's interesting to me today because I do not need to introduce just one speaker. It's like four of them. So I'm super excited. Just waiting for their presentation. So yeah, I'm just admitting a few more people to the room and we will go live in the next 1 minute. And most of you all would be very familiar to this. Make sure that you have your questions with you. Feel free to drop it on the chat box. Our speakers would get back to them as soon as they are done with their session. Yeah, sort of audio. I hope I'm audible, right? If I can get a thumbs up.
Loud and clear.
Sweet. Sweet. Thank you. All right, folks, let's kick off. Hey everyone, and welcome to Superhack workshop titled Introducing Metal 2, Metallicus, and the Digital Banking Network. Joining us today is just not one speaker, but we have four of them, which is Will, Paul, Maura, and Marshall, who will be taking us through this session. And with that, I'll pass it over to Will to get the workshop started. Over to you, Will.
All right. Thanks a lot, Calvin. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We're very, very excited to be here. We are Metallicus. We're the core developer of Metal-L2, a recently launched layer 2 as part of the Optimism superchain. And we're really excited to be part of Superhack. Joining us today, we've got Marshall Hayner, our CEO and founder. We've got Maura, who is our VP of engineering. We've got Paul, who is our marketing and biz dev manager. We're going to have a quick run through, give you a brief introduction into Metallicus and the company, a quick intro into Metal-L2, and then we're going to run through, as Calvin mentioned, the digital banking network, the product stack that Metallicus is bringing to Metal-L2, which will be available to any developer as part of Superhack that wants to build on Metal-L2 and join the network. So without further ado, introducing Metallicus. Metallicus, the digital banking network, we connect traditional finance to Web3 through compliant blockchain technologies. So founded by Marshall, who's with us today in 2016, a 2009 entrant to the industry, which I don't think you hear too often. And Metallicus very much set off with the vision of bringing compliant blockchain solutions to the industry to support TradFi well before it was fashionable. So this isn't a flavor of the week for us. It's been the mission of the company since the very beginning. We're backed by an advisory board of ex-Federal Reserve members. Most of our executive team are bankers from banks like BNY Mellon, Citibank, Northern Trust, and so forth. And we very much are looking to bring blockchain solutions to TradFi to really empower the industry, as I'm sure everyone very much wants a digital currency future. The first product that was brought to market by Metallicus was MetalPay. The Venmo of crypto, as it's been coined many times before, and that was built off something called proof of process payment. So you would send money between friends on MetalPay, and you still can do today, but then you would be rewarded with ERC20 tokens, MTL, which, fun fact, is one of the first tokens listed in Binance a long while back, or almost 50 years in the era of cryptocurrency back then. And then since we have brought a series of products to market, which Marshall is going to talk about a little bit more, we're the core developers on 3 blockchains, a layer 0 metal blockchain, which is built for financial institutions and credit unions to deploy their own private subnets, a layer 1 XPR network. Mainnet has been live of that since 2020, is a fork of Antelope, and we've brought several different applications to that chain, which are all part of the digital banking network, including a digital identity protocol. And then, as we've mentioned, have launched Metal-L2. And joining the super chain, we want to bring our banking expertise, the compliant product stack that we have, and obviously a compliant and regulated fiat on-ramp to make it as seamless for anyone that wants to build on L2. And eventually, we'll be bringing more of the stack to the rest of the super chain. So all of these fantastic digital banking tools will be available, to build with. We're very focused on compliance. We always ensure that we're meeting standards set by regulators. We are constantly meeting with regulators to ensure that our products are compliant. Eventually we will step towards bringing those to mainstream finance. So quick overview of Metal L2, and we've had a few questions already. You know, there are a lot of L2s in the space, and what makes Metal L2 different. So, you know, obviously being developed by us, we have a big focus on that interoperability with the rest of the digital banking network. So Metal L2 being interoperable with Metal blockchain. So having the ability to move fiat all the way from these traditional financial institutions all the way up to, say, a lending protocol on Optimism or Metal L2. It's EVM compatible, of course. We've brought a web authentication wallet in the form of WebAuth, which you can use to sign transactions on Metal L2 using biometrics such as Face ID, Touch ID, YubiKey. And we are in the process of bringing that to more chains in the super chain as well. As I've mentioned, a decentralized identity protocol, and all of those are currently available on L2 and will be rolled out to further chains very soon. Our fiat on-ramp currently available in the United States. We just launched in Australia, and we are soon to launch in New Zealand. And we've got a Kiwi on the call in our team in Paul. So we're really excited as we expand across the globe to bring compliant fiat, and again, always working closely with those local teams to ensure that we're meeting those requirements. And yeah, as I mentioned, building on the L2, and any developers that are with us today that want to build on Metal L2, we're here to support you. We're here to give you, you know, that extra helping hand that you may not have had in certain ecosystems to understand what it takes to be compliant, or what tools you require to ensure that, you know, you don't go and build a protocol and later down the line are faced with issues and so forth. So we're very much looking forward to bringing all of you on this journey with us as we build out the digital banking network. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Marshall, who is going to give you a deeper overview into the products that we have in the stack. And yeah, we'll keep moving through the presentation.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for that great intro, Will. As Will mentioned, our focus at Metallicus is bridging TradFi and DeFi. So historically, in the world of crypto, we've kind of had, you know, banks over here, credit unions over here, and financial institutions on one side, and blockchain on the other side. And they've been sort of adversarial in the sense that it's been difficult. It's difficult for crypto companies to find banking. As a consumer, you might have had your bank account shut off even, or closed. If you have a Chase account, you, for example, can't receive any transaction from a crypto exchange. So in the future, we believe that the bank and the credit union will be directly tied to the blockchain. And that's what we're building here at Metallicus. Just to touch on some of our key products in our platform, we have MetalPay, which is our flagship product we launched in 2018. And that's kind of like the original crypto Venmo, if you will. This is before Venmo had crypto, but you can download that in the US and Australia. And soon we'll be launching other countries like New Zealand, and bringing back the European Union. We had that a little while ago. I had to shut that off, but that's coming back. And we also have a B2B fiat on-ramp called MetalPay Connect, which is not live yet, but you can go to metalpay.com and tap the MetalPay Connect link and sign up and get some information, and we can start to onboard you onto that platform. It's kind of similar to MoonPay or other fiat ramps you might have seen, but the difference with ours is that we're going beyond just card payments and bank payments. We're going into real-time payment systems And we're building something very unique with Metal blockchain, where we will directly connect credit unions and banks to the blockchain. So that, what does that mean? In the future, ideally, you'll be able to deposit and withdraw directly from your checking account right onto the blockchain. So Metal Dollar, that's our reserve-backed non-algorithmic stablecoin. We call it an index. It makes things really easy to move in between, for example, USDC, PayPal dollar, Paxos, and other stablecoins. Typically, you have to pay some sort of fee if you're using Curve. Even though it's a low fee with the bonding curve, it's still you're still paying something. With Metal Dollar, there's no fee, so one-to-one instant interaction. And in the future, credit unions and banks that we onboard into Metal blockchain will connect into that stablecoin. Soon we'll be bringing that to Metal L2 and the Superchain as well. Right now, it's just on XPR network, but we will be expanding it out. WebAuth wallet, that's our non-custodial wallet. So if you're familiar with MetaMask, other crypto wallets, it's a really fantastic product. Our vision for that is to bring web authentication to the Superchain, and that's one of our prizes that we're focused on for this hackathon, for this hackathon. Where anybody that's interested in passkeys or web authentication, I'd urge you to check it out and build on Metal L2. And that's recently supported in the latest Superchain Optimism Fjord upgrade. So now you can finally do that. WebAuth wallet was actually the first crypto wallet to use web authentication on XPR network, and we hope to bring that to the Superchain and Ethereum and other blockchains as well. MetalX, this is our decentralized trading platform, our DEX. It's kind of a hybrid between both because it uses digital identity, it uses the fiat ramps of MetalPay, and soon we'll have other ramps as we expand Metal blockchain. And it's just a great platform for trading. This is what powers MetalPay, and we're looking to bring this to Metal L2 soon enough and open source that as well. Metal blockchain, this is what we call our layer 0, and it's a fork of Avalanche. So it does support the EVM and Ethereum. The idea behind Metal blockchain was that credit unions, banks, financial institutions, it's very difficult for them to come onto public layer 1 blockchains. You have seen some adoption like the BlackRock Biddle Fund and other things like that. But you typically won't see banks themselves coming onto the layer 1s because there's not much control for the credit union and the bank around a public blockchain. For example, in most cases like Bitcoin or other blockchains, you need 51% of the hashing power to take control. That's too much risk for a financial institution. So we came up with the idea of let's make a public chain that can secure private chains. And so in the same way that Avalanche has the subnet architecture, Metal blockchain has that as well. And in the world of subnets, it's kind of new. There's not many, right? Our vision is to bring subnets to the banking world and the credit union world. So in the future, your credit union, your bank will have their own subnet, and getting stablecoin in and out from that subnet is going to be very easy. And Metallicus is also working on building those bridges, for example, to Metal L2 and to the greater Ethereum ecosystem, Superchain ecosystem. This is the vision. So right now we have over a dozen, I think, signed up credit unions announced publicly for Metal blockchain. We'll be introducing more. It's a slow rolling thing. So when people say, where are the docs for the digital banking network? We'll share with you the docs that we have, but unfortunately we don't have any credit unions live yet, but that should change very soon. I don't know, Will, if you want to go to the next slide. Or is that, okay, yep. So as I mentioned, the vision is really to connect these different layers. You have layer 0, which is for launching chains or subnets. And that's really focused around credit unions and banks. That's where we're focused, but it doesn't preempt anyone from launching their own subnet, especially fintechs, technology companies. We want to bring them there, but we want to bring the thousands of credit unions and banks to the blockchain. There's 4 top banks. Everybody knows who they are. And, I think maybe half of them have openly said that they oppose crypto. So what about the other 5,000 credit unions and 4,500 banks across the United States? And that's just the US, right? And the credit union network is not just the US, but it extends globally into Canada, into Mexico, into Europe. And we look to bring all of the credit unions online and connect them to Metal blockchain through having their own private subnet architecture. In the past, banks, credit unions looked at private ledgers like Hyperledger, like Corda, but what if they could connect to the public blockchain? That's the vision. And Metal L2 is that bridge to the greater DeFi ecosystem. And there is no greater DeFi ecosystem than Ethereum, than the super chain, in my opinion. Of course, there's Solana, and other chains, of course, and we plan to, bridge it out. But our focus really is around the king, Ethereum, and by default, the super chain, which uses every network in the super chain, as you know, is using Ethereum as the data availability layer to secure it. And soon, with this latest upgrade, Metal L2 will be one of the first super chain networks to have fraud proofs, which we'll be announcing soon. Metal L2, as you know, just part of the super chain network. It's code complete with optimism, so there really is no major difference. And into the future, I think that's going to be very valuable as the ability to move between different super chain L2 networks evolves. Vitalik spoke about it, tweeted about it this morning. But there's a cultural thing going on, right? You might have one super chain network that's focused on NFTs. You have, you might have Coinbase Base, which is focused around the Coinbase platform. Our platform and our vision is to connect the thousands of credit unions and banks and financial institutions across the world directly to our network. So that's our focus. And we're building the tools and giving you and the credit unions and banks and FIs that are connected to this, the tools that are needed to comply and to build a financial services product that would be in line with typical financial services products. Because as we move forward into the future, crypto is money. And if it's treated like money, it'll be regulated like money. And you as a developer don't want to go through the rigmarole of getting all your money transmission licenses and all of the headache of that compliance. We want to make that easy for you. We want to make that out of the box. And that sounds very scary. And a lot of people, I came from the early crypto movement, as Will mentioned, discovered Bitcoin in December 2009. And I was part of that early cypherpunk movement. I couldn't understand how could you transact Bitcoin without connecting to it, a bank account to it in the first couple of weeks of discovering it. And then I realized, oh, these are magic internet beans. So I very much believe in the permissionless ability in that cypherpunk vision. But at the same time, we live in the real world. We want to go spend crypto at the grocery store. We want to, get cash back in the form of crypto. We want our bank to not shut us down. And if we're a crypto company, you shouldn't have to bend over backwards and, say a magic incantation to get a bank account. It should be simple, right? Or you shouldn't have to know someone that knows someone that knows someone that vouches for you. You should just be able to sign up. You should be able to go to metalblockchain.org and choose from thousands of credit unions and banks that you can connect with that connect into Metal Blockchain and Metal L2. And so to go into our prizes, as I mentioned, we're really excited about Passkeys integration, this latest Optimism Fjord upgrade. So we're focused around that. WebAuth wallet, very soon we will be open sourcing that. Unfortunately, we don't have that live for the hackathon, but we want to keep that connection going as we move forward. Trustless bridge, this is a big part of it too, because as we bring RWA onto Metal Blockchain, we want to create a trustless bridge that can connect it to Metal L2 and digital identity, anything around identity management. We're also focused on that as well. We're very excited. So we have 3 prizes: bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze 500, silver is 1,000, gold is 1,500. And we're really excited about these different areas of hacking on the chain. After the hackathon's over, don't think that it just kind of ends there with you won a prize and that's great. We want to continue the relationship with you. We want to help you build a real company, because the best hackathon submissions become startups. And that's what I've learned after judging many hackathons, and myself and I believe our VP of engineering, Maura, has judged hackathons as well. We really we know that a lot of these winners go on to create startups. So, phase 1 is winning the hackathon or getting a medal or just building something cool that people like. And phase 2 is let's help you build your startup. So that's our vision. And with that, we'll wrap it up and pass it back to Will. But good luck, best of luck, everyone. And very excited about building the future of finance together with you.
Thanks a lot, Marshall. We'll quickly just cover through the prizes. As Marshall mentioned, we've got Passkeys integration, trustless bridge, and identity management. $3,000 prize for all of those, broken down into gold, silver, and bronze. And then I did see a question in the comments about what can we build on Metal? Well, these are the three big ones, but there is a prize for the most interesting smart contract deployed on Metal L2. So that can be anything, whatever you think. If you have ideas, please get in touch. I know we joined with Calvin the other day for the opening ceremony, and some ideas were thrown around about step counts, integration with Strava, things like that. There are prediction markets being built on our layer one XPR network at the minute. We're interested to see that brought to life as well across Metal L2 also. So yeah, dive into the Discord. We're online at least 23 and a half hours a day. If Paul and Marshall aren't going to bed at 4 a.m., I'm waking up in the UK at 7 to cover the shift. So yeah, please reach out. Yeah, does anyone have any questions? We'd love to open the floor and answer anything. Maybe I'll pass it back to Calvin. You have any questions?
Thank you, Will. Yeah, so yeah, folks, as Will mentioned, if there are any questions for the team, feel free to write it on the chat box. Yeah, I think you have received one question from Saurav.
I saw that one. I could take that. So what sort of solutions can people build on Metal? Everything you could build on the super chain today is possible, right? So anything that could deploy on Ethereum, could deploy on Optimism or Base, can be built on Metal L2. What's special about Metal L2 is that when you start to build on this network, you're going to be connected to what we call the digital banking network. And so the first layer to that is our several products. One is Metal Pay Connect, as I mentioned, and it's a fiat ramp that soon is expanding globally. But this is going to, over the next hopefully couple months and into early next year, start to support federal payment systems, real-time payment systems, and direct connections to credit unions. So if fiat ramping is important to you, if you're building any financial service type products, this is really great. Also, if you are concerned about having that connection, you've got Coinbase Base and Metal L2 are two great L2 networks in the super chain for fiat ramping. What differentiates us, I guess I would say, from Base is that MPC, Metal Pay Connect, will be fully white label. You'll be able to fully white label that. So unlike MoonPay or some other providers where you'll see, a pop out and it goes to MoonPay's website, very soon you'll be able to completely white label that product. And instead of saying you have to come through one central provider like Coinbase, you're going to have a network of thousands of banks. Right now you have 12 and they have not gone live yet, but that will happen soon. And yeah, you have a full, what I call kind of like Apple style ecosystem. And a lot of these apps that we built, we're going to allow you to white label as well. So that's really kind of what gives you that edge when you build on Metal L2, that connection to credit unions, banks, and fiat ramps. Metal builds all of the products around that regulated side. So when it comes to digital identity and it comes to making sure that you're compliant, and we think that's going to be really important to the future, we've got you covered. So especially if you're building a financial services product, this is where you want to be.
Thanks, Marshall.
Oh, I see one.
Oh, go ahead.
Will mainnet deployment require us to buy the tokens? Where should we buy them? So mainnet deployment does not currently require you to buy Metal tokens. It's using ETH as the gas, so you can just bridge ETH over. Right now, Metal DAO MTL token is available on all the largest exchanges: Binance, Upbit, KuCoin, Gate, etc. And you can use Metal to make governance proposals. So similar to Optimism, you can apply for grants, you can make proposals to the network, and very soon we're going to upgrade the network to allow you to pay for gas with Metal DAO token, but you don't actually need it to start building or deploy anything.
I see another question in there from Blockcraft. So for future development, are there any grants available? Yes, there are. We have so far had 3 successful proposals. The first was Velodrome, who I'm sure you know. They're set to be deploying on Metal L2 very soon. Ionic is another. The lending protocol, and then Biconomy also have brought some tooling. And there's a set of additional grants going to come in very soon to give you all of those tools that you're used to. And then I guess one last thing that we'd also say is we are opening up preferential partnership for Metal Pay Connect, as Marshall mentioned. This is a white labeled fiat on ramp, which will allow you to bring fiat directly on chain into your protocol through Metal Pay Connect. And there's no logos, anything. It's fully white labeled. It can fit within your UI, UX. So if you are interested in that for sure, and you want support from that front, we can help you out. But as mentioned, always available. And yeah, you can submit grants and put it to the DAO. All right, I guess that kind of brings us towards the end, Calvin. Should we wrap it up? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. And if there are not any questions, I think we are good to wrap up. We have 3 more minutes to close the session.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, like we say, thank you so much. We're humbled that so many people have joined. For those of you that aren't watching live and are watching this at a later time, yeah, thank you for watching. Please reach out if you have any questions. And yeah, we'll be around. I see there's some interest in the white label for Metal Pay Connect. So we'd be very keen to speak to you.
Sweet. On that note, thank you, Will, Murphy, Paul, and Marshall for joining us today and for the great presentation. If there are any questions, feel free to drop it on the Discord, on the partner Discord channel. If you have any questions to them, and they shall get back to you whenever they get the time. Cheers, everyone, and have a great rest of the week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.